Hello, Paula.
How are
How
you?
are you? You okay? Can you hear me?
You scared me.
Can
I
you
thought
hear
I got
me?
time wrong, you know, because
No, do you know what it is? It's the hold on, my things come out.
I can't hear you. You're on mute.
How about
Like,
now? No?
now, now I can hear you.
You can hear me.
Victoria.
Okay, so imagine this. I'm doing a live, the whole thing crashed.
Oh no! Let me.
No. So I've
That can't be.
restarted it. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I thought I got the time wrong because I went into the link
No, no, it's my
and it
fault.
like ended, and I'm like, oh no, Victoria's gonna be mad at me.
No, not at all. No, it crashed, so I just had to redo the whole thing again because you can't re-enter. So it
Mhm.
already streamed, which is a
Yeah.
pain. And I was just saying that I accidentally, stupidly put out a video earlier saying that the Christmas card had been released, but
Mhm.
actually it hadn't been. So this is an old news. I got very excited.
Um.
I saw an article that said it's being released and
Mhm.
on Hello with Hello magazine. So I quickly went over to this
Oh.
article. I didn't read the year. It was last year. So I did a video, so I do apologize, guys. I got very excited and rushed that video, so I won't do that again. I will do. I will read thoroughly first. But they haven't released a card yet, have they?
No, and let's not forget that the cards that they have released, it's about them, not about the children,
Yeah.
nothing about family,
Mm,
which is what
mm.
Christmas is all about, really.
Exactly.
Which is what life is all about, really. So,
Well, this is the thing, and I know that it's a big tradition in America to have these Christmas cards, and they're usually very festive. They evoke the Christmas spirit, and I don't really feel like that. I've looked at all their old ones; they're not that Christmassy. I mean, what do you think? Why do you think they haven't put one out already, Paula?
mm, what are they going to put up for real? A couple of pictures of Meghan clapping at Invictus.
Oh, hold
I
on.
mean, I did a video with Dan Wooten, and I am so glad um, that we talked this please go watch that video. And the reason for that, okay, I am in it, yeah, but not only for that, because Dan Wooden is a big personality, a big celebrity, He
Mm,
was part of the Royal Rota. We know that. He's the one who broke the news about Mexit. But not only that, he was very well embedded in all of that. So for
mm,
somebody like him to come out and also be asking questions about those kids, it's it's very important, and we have to make that loud, like ask people, because he's putting it out there. He's putting it out on the map, and it's great. I sent them the emails and everything I've been trying to do with get the info. I sent them what the parliament sent me, like, he's verified, contrary to what people say. Those emails were not fake or anything like that. Those are real emails, like you're just asking the most basic questions because at this time we have two unverified, two children in the line of succession with unverified origins.
mm, mm,
Because the answer from Parliament to me was, we don't have any of those papers or anything. We don't have any of that documentation. Yet they are the guardians of the line of succession. I mean, they can't do anything about royal titles, but they're supposed to safeguard the line of succession and to ensure that every kid they put there, and everybody who's there, meets all the legal requirements. So for
mm,
them to now be questioning it and asking the questions and saying, wait a minute, why is this happening? Because he also talked about how in 1948, and we've talked about it many times, how in 19 up until 1948, guys, the home secretary had to be present. It went from the medieval times when the whole court had to be present when the queen was like giving birth, and she's showing her business to the world, to the entire court, because everybody had to witness that it wasn't fraudulent, because it had to be a male, it had
mm,
to be alive. So, and a lot of times childbirth back, it's still dangerous now, but back then it was really dangerous. So a lot of times the child didn't survive. So what the queen would do, they would try to smuggle a child into the bassinet, uh, and pass them as the royal child, like a healthy child. We know that Henry the Seventh, his was it Henry the Seventh who kills all these wives because he
Eighth,
the
Henry
eighth
the Eighth.
who couldn't get a male heir. It was all girls. This is how we ended up with Elizabeth the First.
And if only they knew at the time that it was all down to them and their sperm, and they determine what sex that baby is because of the YX chromosome. And it's all repeated through history that that men always blame the women for not giving them an heir or giving them a son because it was very important back then. Sorry for cutting you off. Carry on, Paula.
No, 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 but it's true. It's the man who carries the sex chromosome for the child. But back
Yeah.
then, that's what it was. And Dan brings it up because he also talked about something very interesting that I saw in one of his videos, which is true. I mean, Harry and Meghan, first of all, I don't believe that they should get any titles, the kids.
Mm, mm,
But because the origins have not been verified, I believe, like Dan said, they should be removed from the line of succession. If they want to keep the titles, fine, but they cannot be in the line of succession while they're not verified because it is not an acceptable answer from Parliament to the people to tell them, well, we don't know. Ask the palace. Well, wait a minute. Aren't you the one who's supposed to verify that all the requirements are met?
mm,
you
mm.
know and I've talked about it in my channel. I mean, that's what I've been starting with my channel to begin with, like asking questions. I've been in the search of those bloody birth certificates. I mean, I've been. Yeah.
Well, the second part's been released today. Can you hear me properly on this?
Yes, we can hear you.
Everything's going really weird. My background's disappeared as well, and I don't know why. Very
You have to go to
bizarre.
settings. You have to go to settings. Then you
It's
have to go to virtual background, and then you
oh, I
have to
see.
choose a background.
I know, but it's just normally on here and it's just gone. I mean, not that I don't mind. This is a very sophisticated look here. It's not as funky as the last one.
Mhm, 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 mhm.
So, are you going back on Dan Wooten's show at any point?
I don't know. I mean, I think I went well. He was very lovely. He was so kind and so funny. And it's nice to have a debate with somebody, that doesn't get outraged about questions asked, because a
Mm,
lot of people, they get outraged at the questions being asked. It's great to have a debate with somebody's like, wait a minute, yeah, it's like, why is it such a secret?
mm,
you
mm.
know and I think that Harry and Meghan should be told, if you want to keep the details private or secret or whatever, then your children cannot be in the line of succession. And I even talked about how maybe they can amend the Succession Act and say um that if the parents want to keep those details secret, then the children cannot be in the line of succession.
Well, I mean, I am coming over to the dark side. I've already said this to you, Paula. This is crazy because there is just such a time lapse now of how long we've gone without seeing these kids. And I think every time that we don't get silly things like even a Christmas card, an updated Christmas card, because they're actually throwing information out on the internet where I believe that there was a Christmas card. So I think there's a bit of a spin on their PR at the moment, trying to push out different bits of information that isn't true, and just to kind of throw people off and not think and make people think that everything's fine. But not having a Christmas card again this year, what does that signify? Why are we not seeing these kids? And it bewilders me that they're not seen in public. How are they not seen in public? Not one person snaps a shot of them on their phone, or how can they just slip past everybody?
And every time it's a different kid. Every time it's a bloody different kid. No, I'm not kidding you. Every time. Why does Meghan Markle feel the need to Photoshop the image? The last one that they put with Archie looking with like carrot top. The hair was so
Yeah,
red.
Yeah.
It's so fake, so phony. To me, Victoria is not about the pictures. I really don't care if I don't see those children. I really don't care. I really, really don't care to see them. But I
Mm.
want to see the documentation, the real documentation. I want to know the names of the doctors with their signatures testifying that they delivered those children from Meghan Markle's body. That's what I want. I don't care about seeing Meghan Markle that Archie was spotted here. That Lilibet, what that Lilibet has hair color. That Lilibet looks like Princess the Spencer Jean and blah 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 blah. I don't care about any of that. All I want is the name of the doctors and the medical staff that deliver those children. And I would like an answer as to how a doctor, like a professional medical practitioner, would send a woman who just gave birth with two epidurals within an hour of delivering that child after being given two epidurals home, because that has never been done. I have I have
Yeah.
done research
Mm.
and that has never been done. You have to stay at least
Yeah.
6 or 8 hours until the um,
So
the
if she's had an epidural, and then it would be difficult for her to go for a wee the next day. So you have to have a catheter fitted overnight, and you can't go home with a catheter, or you have to pee in the bag. And I had an epidural, so I'm quite aware of that. I had to
Me
stay
too, I
in
had
for
an
at least a
epidural.
month.
I had my
Yeah.
son with a C-section because Henrik was
Mm.
born had to be delivered because, he had the umbilical cord,
Oh wow.
wrapped around twice, and, you know how the last trimester, the kid really kicks, and one
Mm.
day I woke up and I didn't feel him kicking at all, and that's odd because that's the most uncomfortable month, you're peeing all the time and all kinds of things, and it's like and so what I went the whole morning and barely kicked, barely moved. So I went to my doctor, and my doctor, he sent me to do an ultrasound where they measure the heartbeat of the child for half an hour, right?
Mm.
Because
Mm.
when they're babies, their heart rate is really fast. It's like really, really fast. I think it's 165. I don't if I, and Hendrix was like 90, 90, 80. So the doctor said to me, he said to me, you have to decide when we take this child out because we have to deliver him a month earlier.
Mm.
So he gave me 3 dates and I picked June 1st because I thought it was just a nice date, and I had him as a C-section. And I had an epidural put in, and because there were riots, it's so funny because I can tell you that epidural lasts a long time because there were riots in the country. Henrik was born in Nicaragua, and there
Mm.
were riots in the country. So the one of the doctors couldn't make it on time. The pediatrist, how do you say it in English?
Pediatrician.
The pediatrician
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
um, for early delivery for kids that are born early. You
Mm.
know,
Premature babies.
couldn't make it, so we waited for about an hour. And I was just lying on the table, and I remember asking the doctor. I was really worried because I was wide awake, and I said to him, "Am I gonna feel something?" Because I mean, I could move my arms and everything. And he goes, "Do you feel anything right now?" And I'm like, "No. Well, I'm here, and I've been poking your feet just doing it." So we lasted, and then when I had Henrik, um, they put me in a separate room, and they had to take Henrik in a separate room, because they needed to check him because he had some issues.
Hmm.
So we weren't in the same room. But I couldn't, even if I tried, I couldn't lift my legs. I left the next day because I wanted to go see my son. The doctor came around 6 in the morning, got me up, which burnt like hell, and
Mm.
and then I walked to see my son. But even in the morning when they stood me up, because I had to walk to see them, there was no nerve damage because the epidural goes through
It's
your
quite
back.
dangerous having an epidural anyway. It's a bit of a risk to it. That's why they prefer natural births, right?
So yeah, this is why I like to know who is the doctor who sent who allow Meghan Markle to have a birth in a bathtub with an epidural. Because Harry's saying that the first epidural didn't take. So they had to give her another one. So that means that she must have a little catheter so they can administer. So they're doing this while she's underwater with the risk of getting an infection and getting fluid inside that thing. I like to know the name of those doctors because I don't know about the people on the side chat, but that story that Harry is narrating doesn't add up.
Well, it seems to be nothing they say really adds up, does it? Hello, everybody in the side chat. How are you guys? Thanks for joining us. I do apologise about the blunder earlier. Hopefully, I've lost a few viewers from it. Sorry, it's just the internet. This is what happens. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, why is it we can't access this information? I just think it's the more this goes on, doesn't it heighten the kind of the mystery around it? And why can't we get hold of it, Paula?
Well, I'm gonna play you a little bit at the end of what Dan
Mhm.
Wooten said because I think that sums up everything that he said we were talking about. And I think you guys will understand that because it is actually very, very I think he summarized it very well. Okay. Let me see. It's almost at the end. Let me see. Let me put that. And that's what I'm talking. Let me show let we can I'm gonna share you because Dan summarizes it very well as to why he thinks that we're never gonna hear about this. Listen, are you sharing it?
Yep. Sorry, 2 seconds. There we go.
We just wiped her off and send her with 2 epidurals back to Frogmore Cottage.
No,
I don't see it happening. I really don't see that happening.
none of it makes sense. None of what went on over the course of that birth makes sense because also, it was such a big deal. Oh, they just didn't want to be seen walking out of the Lido wing. Absolute rubbish. Because then they posed for the press very soon after at Windsor. So trust me, this is a couple that want to be photographed, want to be get the attention, and want to do everything that William and Catherine has done. And they did do the pose up. So none of the circumstances around Archie's birth certainly made sense. And then, of course, the second birth was shrouded in privacy because by that point, and this is understandable, they are private citizens. But the issue, as you rightly point out, is the fact that these two Americans really now remain in the British line of succession. I think probably the issue, Paula, is that the royal family don't want to be particularly aggressive on this, and there's no one in the British government that is going to take this on as a major issue. I mean, we did have one MP who was trying to get Harry and Meghan's titles removed. That went nowhere. And unless the king actually starts this stuff, then the government are too worried to annoy Charles. Do you see what I mean? So it becomes a bit of a vicious circle. And what happens is just nothing gets done, nothing gets dealt with. We even saw that in terms of, in terms of when Catherine and Charles were very ill, the fact that rather than removing Harry and Prince Andrew as counselors of state, they just added Camilla and was it Eugenie? I think so. Do you see what I mean? So this is the problem. No one wants an aggressive approach. And the mainstream media, they're just so terrified of Harry and Meghan suing them. Now they don't say a thing.
He's right, though.
Wonderful that Dan is bringing this out. Please go
Mm.
see that video because it is, I mean, I love it that he's asking the questions and this is Dan. So it kind of I felt like it's not Paula the crazy one always asking the questions or bookworm or even Megan Small with the moon bump or it's actually these are valid questions, guys. For me it has never please they can photoshop those kids, you know what I mean? So for me seeing a picture it's really not a thing because I don't believe any picture that they post. But I want to see the names of the doctors and where they swear that they get, and even now, I don't know if I believe him because so much time has gone by that they would do anything just for this to go away and put out a document say, here.
But he's right in what he's saying, because because of who they are, and because he's the king's son. Is this why all this information is closed off? Because it would be a real big expose, and it would reflect on the royal family massively when the truth does come out.
Well, it's reflecting now. I mean, because he's the king's son, it should be transparent. There should be no doubt. The House of Windsor, the monarchy, should be transparent. We shouldn't even be. Nobody's asking these questions of Princess Catherine or our Princess Anne or even Sarah Tyndall or anybody else, because they're all transparent with this. Because he's the king's son, and because he is in the line of succession, because they're in the top 6 senior positions, Harry and his 2 offsprings. We should be asking these questions. There could be this should be public. I don't care if the 20th in line up to the throne has a child, but Harry is 5th. When the king dies, he moves up. If anything happens to William and George is underage, according to the Regency Act, it's up is Harry up to be the monarch, the regent monarch, until George comes of age. And I don't want to have Queen Regent Meghan, do you? And
No.
look, Dan just brought up a point which I also did so many videos about it. And people were arguing with me about it. I wrote to Parliament. I showed the answer that Parliament sent me, telling me that the current counselors of state were the ones that were the first 4 in the line of succession, and that the Princess Royal and Edward had been added, but that Harry had not, nor Prince Andrew had been removed. I did so many videos. I was called a liar, that I didn't know what I was talking about, in spite of the fact that I showed the email, the response I got, because I asked Parliament to confirm whether who the heads of who the counselors of state were, and then they said the counselors of state, as the law stands, are the next 4 in line, which was Prince William, Prince Harry, Camilla, Prince William, Prince Harry, and Prince Andrew. And then they gave me the link to go verify that on the website, on the royal website. And I showed this to people all over. I mean, I did like 4 or 5 videos, and I was called a conspiracy, that I'm an ignorant, all the things that people like to call me. And here we have Dan confirming the same thing. They didn't remove them. They didn't remove them. They just added on more people, but they didn't remove neither Prince Andrew nor Prince Harry. Prince Harry, with the scandals of the Baka people and all the horrible things that he's doing, acting like a head of state in Nigeria, inspecting the military.
Do you think that they're just hoping for all this to go away? Because time sometimes dampens people's spirits and tenacity to get something done. So, if you can just hold on for as long as possible, will people forget, and then they hope that this won't be brought up again? I mean, what do you think?
Well, no, I think that with Dan and now even Neil Sean, I just posted a video about the Lilibet thing, right? Because he's talking about it. He did a video where he says that the reason why they didn't do that Harry and Meghan had their heart set on baptizing Lily at Windsor. But that what's him call it? Tyler Perry said, "Oh God, no, I don't want them people. I don't want to be around those people." Diddy lover, you know. He didn't want to be around them people, the colonizers. But at the same time, he has no problems being godfather to a child holding a title of that colonizing institution. So I don't believe that it was that Tyler Perry put as a condition not to go over to the UK. I think that the royals were not going to go to California. That's for sure. No, but you're not going to move the entire royal family to go to Montecito, for crying out loud, you know. But Meghan wanted to record the baptism, and she wanted to sell it. You see, and I believe that the royal family told her, "You're more than welcome to have the baptism here, but you're not going to record it. And if you do want it recorded, we're going to hold on to that. And what we can release is the official pictures, like the Archie baptism. And we know from the metadata of that picture that that baptism didn't happen on that day, according to the metadata on the picture, which was 2 weeks earlier. So Meghan said no, because I can bet you that what's his name, Tyler Perry would have given anything to be at a castle with the King of England, with all the ceremony and pompous. But the royal family said, no, we're not going to record it. No, I don't believe that he's the one who said he's doing a Meghan, which is always putting the royal family down as though they're better than the royal family. I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe for 1 second that Tyler Perry said, I don't want to go over. Because if he really wanted to stand on principle, he would have told Meghan, I agree to be the godfather to your child, providing that she does not take any titles, because I can, in good conscience, not be the godfather to a person holding a royal title from an institution that enslaved us. But he didn't say that, does it? Instead, he goes like Princess Lily, the Duchess of Sussex.
Well, they contradict themselves, don't they? But their belief system contradicts themselves all the time. People are hypocrites. They go from one argument to another. Well, not everybody, but the celebrities are, and these high status people do one thing and then do another, and it doesn't really correspond with what they're saying. Is Tyler Perry now moving away from these guys?
Pardon me?
Is he now moving away from these guys?
Well, he was asked in the press, wasn't it? Somebody in the chat, please in the chat, confirm if I'm wrong. But he was in the chat in an interview, in the latest interview, right after that horrible Paley things that it seemed like it was Meghan's award or Meghan's honor, her posing back and forth, even though she's been told to move away, to get out of the whatchamacallit, the red carpet, but she wouldn't listen. He gave an interview where he said that when they asked him about how he helped Harry and Meghan flee the United Kingdom, because of course they were enslaved. You make it sound like they escaped prison or something like that, right? So and he said, I didn't. Meghan knew California. There was nothing for me to show her. He tried to downplay the role he played in that, when we know that he lent them the plane, and that's expensive. He lent them the security. That's expensive. He lent them his mansion. That's expensive. So there must have been some form of organization. They must have been in contact to organize the logistics of all of that. So he's lying.
100%.
So to me, he's downplaying it.
Well, I think now maybe he's seeing it for what it is, and he's starting to come to his own opinion over it all. I mean, at the beginning, he probably thought, well, yeah, I'll get involved, because you believe things on face value, don't you? But as the story unravels and there's more and more that comes out, maybe he's decided, actually, I want to pull away from these two, and they're not all that they seem.
I'm kind of ambivalent on that. I think he changed his mind after Meghan hijacked his event, because she left early and called the paps when she got out of the garbage on the garbage side entrance. Do you have that clip?
No, you had that last time with the toes, yeah, with the black dress. Is that the one?
But I have the clip of her exiting.
Yeah, that's the with the black dress on, right?
Yeah, she decided to get out. I'll play it for you here, and we can see it. She decided to call Bagrid to picture her, for everybody to know she was leaving, while Tyler Perry was still on stage speaking, just because she was not allowed to get on stage or was not allowed to get the mic. If you want, you can share that. I can play that for you guys.
Oh my God, let's do it. I think, we've seen this clip before.
Yeah, look at her. I mean, and another thing, no celebrity worth its salt would ever be caught dead, being photographed, getting out through the trash entrance. Look at this. Trash in this area. And it's like, and she's holding on. Why are the security people not covering her? Why is she allowed to walk all this place here like that without any security.
Yes, it does. It does beg a question, doesn't it?
And
And like you said,
look at this bodyguard here. This bodyguard here. What is he doing? That he's not doing anything. He's an idiot. But she did that. So I think he was upset that she did that on purpose just because she was not allowed on stage.
I mean, why would she leave at that time? What was the reason for that? If he's on
Well,
stage, why would
well,
she leave in the middle of him
wouldn't you
being on
be
stage?
angry? Would you be angry that everybody, Kerry Washington, Oprah, they both gave a speech introducing Tyler Perry, talked about Tyler Perry, and Ted Sarandos was there. Maureen, the lady from the Paley Center, was there. Everybody was there except Meghan. That was a pretty bad look that she was not on stage. You know, and I can just that, and I mean, and she's just getting out of it. It looked bad, and she wanted to be on stage. She wanted that mic. So because you know what Meghan wants, Meghan gets, and she doesn't get it, then she's gonna ruin it for everybody. So what does she do? Backgrade, backgrade. I'm going out through the trash and exit. You know,
So do you think he's definitely moving away from her now and their relationship? Do you think Oprah's still got a relationship with these guys?
I don't think so because Oprah has a podcast. You know that, right?
She has a podcast.
Yeah, Oprah has a podcast, and
Everybody has a podcast these days.
no, but and
Every Tom, Dick,
she
and
doesn't have
Harry.
Meghan. Let me see if I can show you Oprah's podcast because she has it on Instagram, right? And you can see Oprah, and she has not invited the Duchess. She's invited people I never heard of, but she's not
Yeah.
invited the Duchess.
This is odd, isn't it? Because they're meant to be bezies.
Yeah, I'm gonna share you
That's
here. I'm gonna share you.
interesting.
Yeah, she's had a podcast for quite a while, and she has it. Look, the Oprah podcast,
Mm.
and she's had people here on her podcast. You know, I don't know. I don't even know who this lady is. And I mean, isn't Meghan an author? Yeah, she hasn't invited Meghan, has she?
No, she hasn't. And that begs a question as well. Or is everybody like falling away from their side? Are they not interested in having a relationship with them anymore? And is it all to do with this sort of media circus around them? Because they're they're not very liked, are they? So I suppose they're going to sink they're going to sort of fall off from them like the rats from a ship.
But the
There's a
thing is,
sinking ship.
though, the thing is, you know what I think it is? I believe that Oprah, who has a huge chip on her shoulder, um, even Oprah was surprised that she got sat so close at Meghan's wedding because she was looking for her seats at the back. And she was even surprised because she was you can see her and she even said in an interview, I thought I was going to sit on the back. I was really shocked when I was moved all the way to the front because she really thought, she was going to be sitting in the back, or whatever. She never thought she was going to be that close almost in front of Her Majesty the Queen. So I mean, I just I think that people wanted to trash the royal family. And with Harry and Meghan, they saw an opportunity. The problem was that neither Harry nor Meghan's complaints were real. They were all lies. They were all slander. They were all defamation. It didn't sit well with people when Harry, an almost 40-year-old man, oh, my dad cut me up. My pop cut me off. He only gave me 4 million. I had to use the millions from my mom. Do you know how bad that sounded?
Oh, he's in a cycle of self-destruction, isn't he? And the Polo series has become quite a flop.
That's embarrassing.
Yes. I mean, I did attempt to watch some of it at the beginning, but there's 5 segments to that, which is quite lengthy. I mean, have you seen any of it, Paula?
I saw it all because I did a video about it. And let me tell you, there's a series on Netflix about Churchill in the Second World War. It's only 4 episodes, and it's much more interesting.
5.
And yet, Harry and Meghan with Polo, they had to have 5 episodes. And then Meghan fake speaking Spanish. She did not speak Spanish. She mentioned 25th of May. Oh, and I love the 25th of May. And I'm like, wait a minute, 25th of May. That is Argentina's, it's like a flag Independence Day. So you couldn't have been there for the 25th of May if you were in Argentina for 5 weeks. And then right after Argentina, you went to Madrid to study there at Study International. And we know that because Study International on their website said that Meghan arrived on September 2002 to study there. And it always surprises me that Meghan Markle never talks about her time in Spain. Have you noticed?
Was she definitely in Spain?
Well, Study International say that she was there.
Okay, well, that's a good start.
And that she was there, she stayed with a host family. Yet nobody has come forward to say we hosted Meghan Markle. Who knew? You know that we were the family who hosted her. And there's a big problem because Study International say that she was there for 3 months, but then in other outlets, she said that she was there for 6 weeks.
Her story changes significantly
And not her
depending
story.
on who.
Her lies get upgraded.
Depending on who she's speaking to, and the problem is she forgets that she's actually, being recorded half of the time. So it all comes back to bite her in the ass. Apparently, there's been another few executives that have left, a few staff members, that have left their team. Are you aware of that?
No,
Paula?
Invictus, Harry, all their staff have left pretty much. Another high-profile staff left. I mean, who would want to be associated? I was counting the other day with Pidina. They have gotten $108 million. Hello?
Oh.
Are you there? They have gotten so far
I'm here.
$108 million.
From what? For their charity? From where?
Well, I think that Dusseldorf gave him 40 million euros. Canada gave him $30 million. And now the government, the UK government, is giving them 27 million pounds for the Birmingham games that are going to be held there. They already went through the 30 million Canadian dollars.
And where is the money gone?
Well, this is, I think, why they fired those two directors who are very high profile people, very respected. One of them even got an OBE from the Queen, like an honor from the Queen. They're one of them was a specialist of Paralympics in Canada, incredibly respected because apparently allegedly they told Harry and Meghan that they couldn't keep using the money for that because you see now they're selling tickets to the veterans that are attending, and the veterans have to pay their own way. They have to pay everything. While Harry and Meghan, and get this, guess how much Katy Perry is getting paid for Invictus?
Talk to me. How much?
$5 million. And the daughter of the veteran, or the son of this veteran who's taking Katy Perry to court because they believe that she swindled their father out of and tricked him into selling his mansion or his home because he wasn't well. So they have been he's a veteran. They've been trying to validate and they've taken her to court and all kinds of, they're still at it. So they wrote a letter of complaint to Harry saying, how can you have this woman? Our father is a veteran. My dad is a veteran. And she tried to swindle him. We're taking her to court. I think that Harry wants to do it because Katy Perry was at the king's coronation.
And they're paying her this, yeah?
Oh yeah, they're paying. This is what is reported out there. It's $5 million.
Doesn't look good, does it?
By the way, Michael Bublé charged $1.5 million to sing that song and that thing for Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan didn't even stay in Vancouver, for the closing where people were taking pictures and stuff like that, and nothing. They took off and then they went to that expensive dinner where Michael Bublé sung a song for them, and Harry did it his way. $1.5 million.
It's still a lot of money, though, isn't it? I mean, I think you're kind of living one lifestyle and then claiming to help another. It's very contradictory to what they believe in, isn't it? If you've got a charity, wouldn't that money be better off going to people that need it? rather than to a singer.
Yeah, but these games are not helping the veterans. There was an
No.
accident of one of the
Mhm.
veterans that fell backwards in a wheelchair and he injured himself, that he needed operations and stuff like that. And now he's broke because Invictus didn't cover his medical bills and because he wasn't his military thing didn't cover it because he was at a game, it was something that that so it doesn't cover it. So he's paying for his own medical bills. So he went there. So the veterans are not enjoying anything. This is a pure vanity project for
And
Harry.
to actually charge them as well is crazy. They shouldn't be charged. How much are they being charged to get
And
in?
I don't know yet, but even Invictus Games, they're so shameless. They said, "Oh, we don't charge for tickets," and then they go, "Oh, we don't ask for donations," and then they have in their page, Megan Small and I came up and showed it because it says like, "We don't ask for donations," and then they put it on their website. Oh, and if you can donate here and this, huh? Yes, you do ask for donations. And why are they asking for additional money if they're getting grants from governments? And I still don't understand why they're getting money grants from governments because they're not like the military, the UK military disassociated themselves from Invictus. So I don't understand why this guy from Veteran Affairs lobbied, who was seen with Harry in Dusseldorf, lobbied and got Harry 27 million pounds, which is about $35 million. Well, Birmingham is cutting down hours for the policemen, their social programs because they don't have any money.
Oh well, yes. I mean, is this going to bring money to England, or is it
No,
gonna
no, it's not going
be?
to bring money to the people in Birmingham are complaining because they're saying that they don't have any resources. They have shut down social centers for the elderly and the children. And they said that they're going to gear all the resources on keeping the streets clean so Harry looks pretty in there. So, you know that they're even cutting down the garbage. How many times the garbage is picked up because they don't have any money. Yet the government somehow found $35 million for Invictus Games, where all this money, guys, is pocketed by Invictus because the veterans pay for all their expenses.
I must say the councils here in the UK are struggling. You know, where they are struggling. A lot of them are on the verge of collapse. So I can't really see that Birmingham is much different. But I would have thought they would have pumped more money back into our system for having it here.
How can they disburse $35 million to Harry for a vanity project? And then we're going to take into consideration that they're going to give him security when he comes here, when he goes to the UK.
Oh well, I mean that's a whole different thing as
They're
well.
gonna
I mean the
you know that they're cutting down
security
police
is
hours. They're cutting down police hours, so the crime rate is up because they're gonna have less police outside. There's holes in the streets, and they don't have enough money to repair the roads. So there's
potholes.
yeah, the garbage is all people are not gonna be picked up. The social projects are being closed, so their crime rate is gonna go up.
Birmingham's a very busy area. There's a lot of people in Birmingham. I don't know what part of Birmingham is it being held in? Is it by the? I think is it what's it called? The red? Is it
They
the
haven't
bull
really
ring? The bull
they
ring. Is
haven't
it
given
near there?
any no, they haven't given
Yeah.
any because of course Harry is worried about his security. Why doesn't he worry more about being a decent human being rather than security? If he were a decent human being, he wouldn't have to worry about his security as much.
Well, this security debacle's been going on for so long now, and it's just a really lame excuse not to come to the UK because, well, I've said it before, you're going to Nigeria, you're going to Colombia, and you can't come here. Nobody's gonna, we don't have gun crime here like that, that like other countries. We do have knife crime, but we don't have gun crime. Not the way we do have some, but we're not the way that other countries have. So I don't feel like he has really got a good excuse. He knows England's not that dangerous compared to other places.
I
It's
mean,
almost
I love the United States, but the United States, all the shootings in schools and people shooting themselves out with all the crime rate that increased because of all the crazy immigrants that were let in. They were breaking into like malls, like like Bloomingdale's, all those places they were breaking into just stealing stuff. And Harry's telling me that it's safer for him. And he has those, if he has those children are more isolated than he was as a royal in the United Kingdom.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I must admit, carrying guns in America is kind of commonplace, isn't it? Whereas, and he's there. He's somewhere where someone can pull a gun out on you any given moment. Um, does he? What is his security like over there? Does he have the best of the best, or is it just
Well, he's
a couple
paying
of?
security. I don't think he's paying for security. I believe his father's paying for it. And of course, the people of the United States are sharing because he does get certain type of security from the United States, obviously. So the taxpayers are paying for it. In his last visit to New York for the Clinton Foundation, there's a clip of him going around that, oh, I just pictured Prince Harry. Look, the goat is there. And it's like, there's New York Police Department is there. So that means that New Yorkers are ponying up the money to guard this guy so he feels important. Well, New York is going through a hell of a lot right now.
Mm,
This
mm,
guy is, I believe, that he's purposely creating. Um, uh, when he said that he had killed 25 people, like like they were chess pieces,
mm,
that he knew that he was saying that, and he did it for a purpose. He
mm,
did it so he would make himself more of a target,
mm.
So all the actions that he's doing is to increase the risk level for himself. But he's so stupid because he increases the risk level for Meghan and his two children if he has any. But he only thinks of himself. If the actions that he's taking, everything that he's doing, is making him to be so disliked, so hated, that people are bound to do something to him because the way he behaves, the words that he used, the actions that he takes. He himself is making himself a target, and I don't believe that people should pay for his stupidity.
No,
That's what I'm thinking.
no, of course you're completely right, and I think the king's sticking his heels in for this one, but it's going to be an interesting situation when he does come over for the Invictus Games, because what is the king going to do? Is the king going to provide him with the security that he
Oh, yeah,
keeps
well, he did.
banging on about?
Every time Harry has come, he's been provided security. But
Okay, so
let's see if he is still in the United States, because the Heritage Foundation has launched a fresh thing to have his visa thing released, and Trump is on record saying that those documents, if those documents come to light and he's broken the law has to be followed wherever it may lead.
mm,
So that means that Harry might find himself living in the United Kingdom, and I don't think that his loving wife, his adoring wife, would follow him.
well, this is the thing, and I think this is a lot to do with Meghan because she's dragging her heels coming here anyway. She doesn't want to come here. It's very kind of.
Why would she wanna come here? She was
Mhm,
coming to the United Kingdom before because she had everything was closed for her in North America. She couldn't get a job in North America. She couldn't get a man in North America. So she was flying to the United Kingdom to see if she could star in a reality show. She was hitting the Instagram messages of footballers in reality that, one of them didn't even bother to answer her. And then now, why would she need to come back to the UK? She scored big. She doesn't need to come back to the UK. She knows that one way or the other, her life is set. She will have that Duchess title because I don't see King Charles removing that title um, if and when they get divorced.
yes, and she does not really care about them repairing, or she doesn't care about Harry seeing his family. Let's put it that way. She's not bothered. She's quite happy that they're segregated from everybody. So it's in her interests for him not to want to come here anyway. Christie's saying here that I heard today he's flown around the planet 3 times this year, but he wants to preach about the environment. Another contradiction, isn't it? Private jets are, a massive impact on the environment. And look at this guy. He's just doing as he pleases. And also, do you remember back in the day when he said, "Oh, I'm not going to have any more children because they didn't want to bring another person on the planet when they first had their first child." Do you remember that,
Yeah,
Paula?
that was it. And then they had, of course, Lily. And then they got an award for only having 2 children.
They got an award,
I
yeah,
mean,
for only having 2 children.
don't you
Yeah.
remember they got an environmental award for only having 2 children? I mean, I've never heard of that in my life. I mean, those are,
It's
the
they
thing with
just
Harry security, it's like, for example, if you're going to a very busy highway and you decide just to start running across the highway without any safety, and you go, oh my God, a car might hit me. Well, then, if you don't want a car to hit you, don't go back and forth through the highway. Stay out of the highway. So that's,
don't play in the traffic.
yeah. So that's the thing with Harry. It's like, oh my God,
Ah.
he's suing everybody. He's lying about everybody. He's slandering people. He is acting like the complete brat that he is. He has always been. And this time he doesn't have Buckingham Palace to clean up his image. You can see the petty
Yes.
little wiener man he is.
I think he's probably quite shocked actually because his image has always been sort of maintained here, but out there it's a free for all, isn't it? So he's probably quite shocked at the amount of bad press he's getting because it's not really been something he's been used to. Even when he was out doing his party days and up to all of his shenanigans, it was always spun how cheeky chappy he was, and it was spun in a good light. Everything was spun in a good light. If he did anything wrong, there was always another side to it because of the PR here and the massive
That's because
machine that's
Buckingham
behind them.
Palace PR was working really hard to clean his image. So that
Yes.
I've always said it and I will always say it, that the Harry that you people are seeing right now, this is the real Harry. And this is what Buckingham Palace PR people had to deal with on a daily basis. And they had to clean his image on a daily basis because what you're watching right now, this is the real Harry. And he's angry because he's angry that people are seeing the real him and people don't like what they see.
Mm,
Because
mm,
I think that now he realizes how important the Buckingham Palace PR machine was for him, you
mm,
know.
mm.
But what we're seeing is the real Harry. He's an idiot. He's a small wiener idiot.
Don't make me choke, Paula, please. Do you think Trump will kick Harry out, Paula?
Yeah, I think that if the document comes out, I think that Trump will say, "You're out, buddy. We'll follow the letter of the law." I
I
think he
mean,
will.
they rubbed up Trump the wrong way anyway. I mean, I think nobody expected him to come back
Don't
and
get me wrong. I think that Trump may like the royal family very much, and you know what he said about
he
Prince
loves the
William.
Queen, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he
He's
liked
got a
King
lot of
Charles,
admiration for him.
and apparently they seem to have a friendship because one of his kids, one of Trump's children, let it slip that when Harry was when like Prince William was like 6 years of age or something like that. No, when he was like 6 years old, Charles was there at Mar-a-Lago because they had pictures of them. So he was talking about how Charles had been coming. So there seems to have been a close friendship that we didn't know about because Charles had
Mm.
visited Mar-a-Lago secretly had he not let it.
Mm.
Yeah, I played the video about it when one of Trump's children saying, "Yeah, I was looking at the old pictures and I was like about 6 years of age. Charles was still married to Princess Diana when that picture was taken, and then so even though he said it when he went to Paris right now that William is the good guy, and no matter how much he likes what's his name, the king and William, I can see that Trump's is for the United States first and foremost. And if you're screwing with us, you're out.
Yes, and they haven't actually. They've spoken quite poorly of Trump in the past. These two, haven't they? So I don't think they ever expected him to go back into presidency. So they're probably a bit worried now,
Yeah.
because they've got to kind of now backtrack a bit to kind of stay on the level with him. But I know he's got a lot of love for the Queen. He has a lot of love for the Queen because his mum's from Scotland, isn't that right? She's Scottish, Trump's mum, or was
Yeah,
has
he's from
he's got
Scotland. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Scottish
Christine
heritage.
Gilbert said that she saw that it was Eric Trump. Thank you. I remember that. I couldn't remember which one of his kids that had said it.
Oh yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I think he will deport him. It doesn't because you see, for Trump, it's not about what's good for this. We've seen Trump how blunt he is with people. It's like, I don't like you. This is going to happen. Like this is going to be done. This is a man who's very blunt, and I think that the United Kingdom will understand that they wouldn't want the United States to break the law for Harry. when the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom has called Trump a fascist.
Mm, mm, yes. No. Well, it's a difficult situation, and there's a few MPs over here as well that are kind of having to now, uh, you know, backtrack on what they've said because they want good relations. That's the key to most countries, and they want to have good relations with each other. And America and England have their old friendship. So it's a difficult situation for some MPs over here. Some of them are really happy because I think Nigel Farage has a really good relationship with Donald Trump. But there are a few in government that have said a lot of bad things about Trump, and now they've
Yeah,
got
but
to.
Nigel Farage asked Trump about Harry, about the visa. And he said, well, if he's broken the law, I'm going to follow the letter of the law.
Mm,
So we might find that Harry might be living in the UK whether he likes it or not, because I don't think he's going back. NT lawyer teased me about it when we were talking about it. He goes, "Oh, he's going back to Vancouver, Paul." And I, no, he's not. No, he's not. Canada doesn't want him. No,
I mean, imagine if they did kick them out. I mean,
they would
what
kick Harry out. I don't think Meghan would follow him.
do you not think?
No, and this is the tricky part for Meghan. This is the yummy part, guys. Okay, there's already precedent for this for an actress called Kelly Rutherford. She was in Melrose Place, and her character's name was called Megan. She married this German guy who was a banker or something like that, and then they married quickly. And then she was pregnant with their second child when she decided to divorce him, and she no longer wanted him. Do you guys remember that case? And then her lawyers, in the middle of the trial, because she was losing, one of the lawyers in the firm just it was all theatrics, theatrics. They came in. It's like he pulled his big phones because it was just starting the age of the cell phones, and he called at the home office or whatever. And it's like, we believe, Your Honor, that I can't remember the name of the guy has committed a crime because he had a visa like Harry's, and he couldn't start this business and stuff like that. So in one of the trips that her soon-to-be ex-husband made to Paris, when he tried to go back in, he wasn't allowed back in. The visa was revoked. So what happened is that because according to the law, if by involuntary reasons or reasons out of the parents' control, he cannot be with the kids for whatever reasons, like for example in this case like that, then the children are sent abroad to spend time with the parent. So they have to split time with the children. And this is what happened to Kelly Rutherford. She went bankrupt because the judge said, it's not his fault that we don't give him a visa, and the children have a right to see their kid, their father. So we're gonna let him see it. So he was in Monaco. I don't know if he still is in Monaco. So if Meghan does that and Harry gets his visa revoked, because there's a scenario that people haven't considered. What if Trump is working with King Charles and decide that the best thing for Harry is to block him or kick him out of the country to separate him from Meghan, to
Wow, I
see if
like it.
Meghan would follow him? If Harry is forced to be in the United Kingdom because out of stupidity he broke the law, and therefore he can't be with Meg, or he can't be in the United States, then Meghan would have to follow him to the United Kingdom. And if she doesn't, then she never really loved him, did she? But that would be a way. What if Trump is working with the royal family because that's the only way that they can see of separating Harry from Meghan? I'm
What a
just putting it out there.
what
Hi,
what a
Claudia.
great yeah, what a great thought there. I do think that's quite an idea. I mean, you never know. It would definitely test their relationship, wouldn't it? And to see how loyal she is and whether I mean, if you're married to someone that you love, would you not go to the end of the earth for them?
No, but I mean, like that's the best way, because if Harry broke the law, I can clearly see Trump saying, you know what? Why don't we kick him out? He goes back to you. If this is something arranged, we're not because King Charles cannot interfere in local laws, just like the United States cannot interfere with in the UK law. And Harry, because he's so public and he did everything so publicly, Had he done had he just kept quiet about his drug use and all kinds of things? But no, he had to brag about it. He had to go on talk shows and talk about it. He had to do that seminar with Gabor Mate, who was another idiot. You know, so what if they're plotting and they're saying, this is something that it occurred to me because that would be the perfect solution
It
for the
would.
royal family to have Harry kicked out of the United States because he broke the law, and well, he's in the United Kingdom. Meghan can come with him. And if she doesn't, that leaves a distance that this way the royal family is not blamed. It's
That is
Harry who's to blame
true.
for lying.
It's like a loophole into their marriage. So it's like a good way of breaking them up without the royals being involved. I like your way of thinking. It's a possibility. I mean, worse has been done before in the past. So it's not
That would
that
be an
much
elegant
of an
solution, though.
interference. It would be a very elegant solution indeed. It would be quite.
Because you see, Meghan would have to allow the children to go to the United Kingdom. She can't legally block it if a judge says the children are entitled to be with their parents, with his father. And because he can't be in the United States, they have to go see him.
You're right. They can't block it. And she would look like a very bad character if she decided not to let him see the kids just because they don't want to go to
But she
England.
can't.
And
Legally, she can't. Hi,
Royal
hello.
Daily Tea's here. I think it's the opposite. Trump will let Prince Harry stay to the royals, stay so the royals can keep him away.
I don't
Oh,
think so. I don't think so. I know what you're saying, Michelle, but I don't think so. I think that Harry has dug himself a hole. And I think that, what, King Charles will never ask that, and then if he say, what, he broke the law. We really respect the United Kingdom and we love our relationships. I mean, let's face it. Trump hasn't lashed out to Keir Starmer for calling him all kinds of things, for allowing 100 people from the Labor Department to go and help a lobby for Kamala, assist in the campaign, which is suspect to say the least. So Trump hasn't said anything about that, you know.
well,
And
I
if you
think
look,
Trump's pretty thick-skinned. I think it's like water off a duck's back for him. He knows people, discredit
no,
him sometimes
no,
or
Trump is a
argue
little
with
bit
him, but
vindictive.
he's actually.
No,
What's that? Sorry.
I think Trump is a little bit vindictive. I would be too. You know what, Harry? They made my mother-in-law's immigration information available. You know that they did that, right? And they leaked even personal private information and phone numbers and everything. I can see Trump saying, you know what? They made my dead mother-in-law immigration form public. I think yours is going up on the block, whether you lied or not. I don't care what else is there. I just want to know if it clicked the thing where it says I use drugs. I'm still using drugs because that's what he's saying.
But you know what doesn't help either is that they donated money to Biden's daughter. I mean,
For a
let's make
project.
it even
Yes,
worse.
it is. For a spa that hasn't even been built.
Yes, I know. Madness. And I don't think that's right for royal blood to be donating to political people. I know she's not a politician, but it's all
Well, it's
kind of
suspect given what happened to Hunter, that
yes,
people
of
were
course.
donating to him. I mean, how can Meghan donate $250,000 to a spa that hasn't been built?
It's all a bit iffy, isn't it? And did we ever find out where that $5 million came from? Because we had
Well, it
the
can be from
middleman.
Fidelity Charitable because Fidelity Charitable donated 6 million, not 5.
Okay, so it's yes, but where did it come from? Who was the original donor? Because
No,
that's
Meghan
the
didn't list
middleman.
it. Meghan didn't list it, and it cannot be Fidelity Charitable, which means that they have not reported in their tax reports the Fidelity Charitable thing. Because Fidelity Charitable numbers don't lie. They say 6 million, not 5.
I think these guys, Harry and Meghan, thought Biden was going to win. No, sorry, Kamala was going to win. Do you think then that that's why they did it? It's all kind of staying on that side of the coin. Might have something to do with it. Are they all kind of interlinked? Is that why?
Now, I want people to understand something. The 990 form that Meghan and Harry released on their website, it's still not on the IRS website. If you go to the IRS website, even though they claim they have filed it on November 15th, it's still not on the IRS website. Okay? So they could have filled out that 990 form. And by the way, and I've said this before because I even showed you guys the email that I got back where it says that, let me see if I have it here because I think I have it here. The names, all the names in the tax forms have to match that of the Social Security cards in the United States of America. Okay.
Yeah.
So all the names, and Meghan wasn't born the Duchess of Sussex. She wasn't, Harry was not born the Duke of Sussex. And also, according, here it is. According, and it says here, let me read the whole thing. Question, because I was really embarrassed when I read it back because they wrote my question and I saw that I had grammatical errors.
Don't
Can
worry.
I wrote question. They put the question. Can I use my nobility title for a position in a board of directors? It's right here. Did you
Yeah.
see the
Yeah.
mistakes made? I
Yeah.
hate.
Mhm.
And the response: no title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and and they put that in bold, and no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept of any present emolument, office, or title of any kind, whatever, from any king, prince, or foreign state. In the United States, and this is the part that it's specific for Harry. Let me see. Where was that? Sorry, where am I? In the United States, you cannot use your nobility title on a board of directors listing due to the titles of nobility clause in the Constitution. And then they underscored that. You see that how they put
Mhm.
those
Yep.
things? And
Yep.
then they send me the link where to go look for it, right?
Mhm.
And it goes, it says that due to the titles of nobility clause in the Constitution, which prohibits citizens from accepting or using titles of nobility from foreign countries while holding public office or positions of trust within the U.S. government. This includes board positions in companies. So it's not only government, but it's a board position, and they declare themselves directors of the of so- of Archwell, which is a public charity. So they cannot be using Duchess of Sussex, Duke of Sussex. So I asked them why they allowed them to use that in the 2022, because if you go to their website on the IRS, they accepted the tax filing was the Duchess of Sussex and the Duke of Sussex. And I'm still waiting for response because they're very slow responding. This took almost 2.5 weeks for them to get back to me. And then there's another one that I want to when I find it, I'll find it for you, but I can't remember. And and then the one with the social security card that says all the names in all tax filings or any documents have to match the names on the social security card.
Is it possible that they can change that?
Yeah, it
So
also says
yeah,
that if you change your name,
yeah.
then you
So
have to report it
yeah,
to SSA, which is Social
right.
Security Authorities.
Association,
I don't know what that is.
authority. Yeah,
They said that you have
association.
to report the name change to the SSA to avoid delays in your tax returns if you get any money coming back, or because a lot of times they return it to you if the thing is incorrect. It will say, you have to
Yeah,
correct,
yeah.
so in order to
Mhm,
avoid delays,
mhm,
you have to
mhm.
change the name if with the SSA, but they always ask you to include
Association.
the original name to avoid any problems. Oh, there we go, Christine. Thank
Yeah,
you. I always
yes.
forget it's administration. Social
Administration. Yeah,
Security Administration. I always say authorities.
it's near enough. It's near enough. Interesting. Do you think that might be why there is a lot of delays on their tax returns?
Well, it's not listed on the IRS thing.
Interesting. And how is the Archwell Foundation doing at the moment, Paula?
Well, they're in debt. They're in
They're in
debt
debt.
because if they got only 5.3 million and they spend and their expenditure is 3.6 or something like that 3.2 or something like that they spent, and they donated like only 1.1 or 1.3, they're pretty much in debt. Or they're very, I mean, they still have the 8 million that they didn't use from the 13 million from before.
Hmm.
But I'm wondering where those 6 millions are, because they say that they got 5 million, not 6 million.
Well, we know none of that went towards a Christmas card this year anyway.
I have it here. Let me show you. I have it here. I have the 5 million. I'm going to show it to you. This is what they reported. Can you share it?
Of course.
This is what they're claiming is 5 million.
Okay.
You know, and then they had the $125,000 and the $100,000 donation,
Yeah.
and somebody who gave in 75,000 donation, and somebody gave in 25,000, and another person gave in 10,000. So somebody is keeping them afloat, but this is not the
Though, this
donation.
is why I want to know, how are we not going to get this information? Because
Well, people have to report them to the IRS, and the best thing to do is for you guys. There's a form that you download on the IRS, and then you put both numbers, the Fidelity Charitable one, and then you put the one, you can say that Fidelity Charitable and their 2022, 2023 tax return, they claim that they donated 6 million to Archwell Foundation, Archwell Inc. However, Archwell Inc. has only reported 5. And then you mail it
right.
and make
So
sure that you put your mail
some
address and everything.
Sunflower saying Archwell Foundation has an EIN number. It's like a social security number for a non-person. I've
No, no,
never
no,
known.
it's this one, it's
Yeah,
this one.
yeah,
I'll show it to
okay.
you.
Yeah.
I did a video about it, guys. I did a video about it, and I showed you which the numbers for EIN, which is this one. I'll show it to you right now. I said to you, this is Meghan Markle's EIN. When you write to the IRS, you download the form and you write to the IRS saying that Archwell Foundation with the employer here, employer
Okay.
identification number
Yeah,
85
that's EIN. Yeah.
22 13 963
Okay. Yeah.
claims to have only received $5 million in contribution. Well, and they didn't report the $6 million that Fidelity Charitable gave. And that you want to ask, yeah, where is it?
This is a good question from Lisa B. Does Harry even have a social security number for the US? I'm guessing, would he have a different type of number when it comes to working in the US? Because you're
Pardon me?
normally given that when you're born. Isn't it the social? So over here we get national insurance number when we come over and work. He would be given. He would be given a social security number,
Yeah, I'm
wouldn't
sure
he?
he already
Yeah,
has a
he would have.
yeah, he
Yeah,
has a social
you
security
get
number.
provided one when you
Yeah,
go
but
over
yeah, in
to
order
work.
for him to
Yeah,
work, he can't be
yeah,
working
you do.
illegally in
Yeah.
the United
No, but I was trying to work out whether it was a different type of code that they were given if you're not
no,
born
you
in
get a
the
social security number as soon as, otherwise he would be breaking the law even more by not by working illegally. So he would need, I believe he's in a spousal visa, and he has a social security number. And the social security number, uh, uh, you need your birth certificate in order for you to what you call it
work.
to work. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, okay, that's great. So yeah, I'm not really too clued up on the law around working when you're not in, like, when you're not born in the country, but I'm guessing he would be on a type of
No, he's in a
uh
spousal visa. People have made all
I,
kinds of
I,
things,
I see. Okay, yeah, okay, that's fine.
yeah.
And yeah, and Lily and Archie will have a secure social security number
Oh, I'm
as
sure
well.
they do. Oh, I'm sure they do. I am sure they do.
Can we find their social security numbers
No,
at
those
all?
are private. You can't
Private
actually.
till they're
It's
18
private
or
because if
21?
anybody grabs your social security number,
Oh, I
then
see.
they
Yeah, yeah,
can
yeah.
ask
Sorry.
for that's how they commit fraud.
No, that's a silly thing for me to say. I don't know why I asked that question. I know that already. I think it's the full moon. I know. Yes, obviously that's kept quiet. Yes, of course, because you can't share that. Um, how interesting. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on the Archwell Foundation and see what happens. And when is the Invictus Games going ahead?
Well, it's gonna be next year. If I had the cash, I would go there for sure.
Shall I go there, guys? just for fun? Because
I'd
they're up
love
the
to
road.
go. I'd love to go. To tell you the truth, I would really love to go. I have a friend of mine who's living there right now. He's based between Argentina because he works for the mining companies. He's one of the high executives there, and he works for this mining company. And he spends half his time in Vancouver and half his time in Argentina. So I wouldn't even need to pay for a hotel, but getting there is expensive. So, but it's going to be very interesting for sure.
It is. It is. It'll be interesting to go. I'm not too far from Birmingham, about 4 hours. So,
Oh, you mean in the UK?
yes.
I was thinking Vancouver.
Oh no, yeah, no. I'm talking about the UK one.
Mm.
Sorry. Yeah, yeah. Who lives in Birmingham? Is anyone in the group chat that lives in Birmingham? Yeah, me next. I don't think I'm quite ready for a Dan Wooten interview, to be honest with you. It's a bit scary. I'm just about
Why?
manager live. Don't know. Well, because I tell you what, you are very well informed, Paula, and I'd have to be doing a hell of a lot more research.
I'm not very well informed, to tell you
Oh,
the
you
truth.
are.
No, no,
You are.
no. I do ask questions, and I try to ask questions, and when I can't find the answer online, then I write to the authorities,
That's
and I say,
true.
"Can you please tell me this?" And then I report back to you what I have, and in the fact of researching all of that, that's how I've learned a lot of stuff. But like, and we're always learning and stuff, and asking questions is not a bad thing.
No.
And this is
Yeah.
one of the things that bothers me about some Mexican community that we are oh no, I was smitten by Dan. He's such a lovely guy and his voice is his voice is very hypnotic because he's very soft spoken and it's like, and I was like, yeah. And okay, guys, this is funny. I am hard of hearing. When he was talking, I was really concentrating on hearing him. And so he's really cute too. He's really cute. So he was very kind. So please go watch
How did you bag that then? Did he contact you directly?
Actually, Pidina recommended me. I wanna say thank you to
Yeah,
Pidina for
of
recommending
course.
me. He was very lovely, and he actually I left a comment in one of his videos, and he said that he'd like to invite me to his channel, and I said, "Sure." And then Pidina contacted him and gave him my details, and that's how it was.
Well, I'd happily do it with him, but I'm going to put out more videos first. I need to do more videos because I only ever seem to do lives. So I need to really ramp up the YouTube. So keep your eyes out, guys, because I'm going to be doing more content. But thank you so much for joining me, Paula. I really appreciate
Always,
it.
Victoria, always. You know that I'm always
I
here
love
for
having you on, and it's been a very delightful chat this evening. Really, really respectful chat as well this evening. So thank you guys for being so supportive and throwing in
Yeah,
all your
yeah.
comments
I
as
just want to
well.
say something because this was mentioned in some very nasty comments that people left in the Dan Wooten show that they're
Mm.
incredibly angry that I haven't lost my hair because of cancer. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I had radiation treatment. My cancer was not aggressive. The little tumor was removed, and I apologize if I disappointed you that I didn't lose all my hair. So yeah.
It's
I don't know
really
what
sad, isn't it? I've also seen some really crazy comments about you, Paula, which I just think people go a bit far. But they're just the same suspects. There's lots of trolls,
yeah, yeah.
same people that crop up as well, which is, I think they just need to move
They had
on.
come down for a while, but now they've gone back again. So
Yeah.
no one
Well,
else. I
listen,
hope I'm sorry, disappointed people that I didn't lose all my hair. I did lose a lot of hair, but because I'm like a poodle. But I don't know if you can see
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Uh,
So you've got a lot of hair like me. I lose hair all the
no,
like.
but
Obviously,
I
not
lost
do the
quite a lot.
same
You can
thing.
see the patches here.
Yeah.
Like I didn't used to
Mm.
have. So what? This is why I have my hair in a ponytail because um when I have loose, you can see a little bit of the batches but not much because I have a lot of hair, but I'm lucky that way. But yeah, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Please go watch Dan Wooden's and thank you very much because I loved it that we were able to talk about the children and he's also asking those questions and he's out there in the mainstream. So when you said that, oh, is this going to die down? I think that no, now it's going to be picked up because now even Neil Sean is talking about it. I talked about it today in my video. Go watch my video today about the baptism too because it's awesome. But it's like now we have what I call major people, questioning, asking the questions that we YouTubers have been asking for 4 years.
It is good. I think they are listening to us, and they are, they are kind of coming around to that idea of and it just doing a bit of investigating. You start to unearth things that don't really fit and don't seem right. So, and you do a good job at that. So well done, you. Guys, I don't know why nobody's getting notifications for my videos or lives at the moment. I don't know why.
A lot of people have been unsubscribed from my channel, and they write to me.
I've lost a few as well, and I don't know why that is. I know I was quiet for a while, but if you guys just keep an eye, that would be great.
And the Royal Chaos is gonna be on Lady Letitia's channel next Friday. So, and we're gonna have a live on the 24th of December. A bunch of us are gonna get together to thank you guys for supporting us on Christmas Eve, and we're gonna toast to you guys, to basically all our viewers, and to wish you the best. And it's gonna be funny and fun. So I hope you join us, but I hope you join us next Friday on Lady Letitia's channel, because the Royal Chaos is gonna be rotating in channels and stuff like that. So we're gonna be having fun that night. Next Friday is gonna be. I wonder if they're gonna have the Christmas card release. I think they're waiting for Princess Catherine and Prince William to release their Christmas card.
Yes, maybe they are, but it's a bit late in December to be not to be releasing the Christmas cards so late on. I don't get that. I would have thought they would have done it a bit earlier. And yeah, we're going to rotate the Royal Chaos every Friday, and guys, we're just going to do it between us girlies for now. I think this is a great little lineup that we've got going, and we're enjoying it, and it did really well on your channel, didn't it, the other night? So
yeah, we're gonna have Diana next Friday. I'm trying to get Meghan Small to come next Friday too. Depends how busy she is, because she's getting ready for Christmas. And
I
she has.
I know it's all crazy. Do you know? I don't think. I feel really weird today. I feel really out of sorts. I feel like my body's my head is not in my body. It's really weird. I don't know what's wrong with me. LCG's, but I've just noticed I've been unsubscribed. So guys, could you just check that you are subscribed, because this has happened a lot. And I don't know whether YouTube is out to get me. I don't get it. But can you just have a look and subscribe back if you have been unsubscribed? That'll be great.
Yeah, and thank you guys. Please go and show support with the Dan Wooten interview. Because God knows there's a lot of haters there, the same usual suspects. So, and also because that's such an important thing, that we have a major celebrity like Dan Wooten questioning these things.
It is.
And his summary at the end said that he didn't see King Charles pushing this forward hard. And he doesn't see Parliament either. But we can make that. I gave a solution on how it can be solved. So I think it's an elegant solution.
Do you think the petition will work?
Pardon me?
I think you mentioned the petition last week. Do you think that would work?
Yeah, I think that would be an elegant solution. I really do. So, it would be an incentive for the royals. And this way, nobody has to remove any titles. It would be up to Harry and Meghan what they decide. If they want to follow the rules, then they remain in the line of succession and with the titles. If they don't want to follow the rules, then they don't have the titles, so it will be really up to them. It wouldn't be that Charles is being petty nor Parliament. It's just, if you want to get a passport, you have to present your birth certificate.
No, you're right. Well, we'll come back to this on the Royal Chaos. I'm going to be live on Wednesday, guys, so and look out for the videos, because I'm going to be doing more of them. Thank you so much for joining me, Paula. Love you lots.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for
always. I love having you on. You're great. It's great. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye, everybody. Take care. Thanks for joining us, guys, in the side chat. Bye. God bless.